Hi, welcome to Phoenix Flight Manual. I am Kessie Afia, and I'm going to do a collective reading for the Twin Flames. This is gonna hopefully be the first video on my channel. I've actually had a lot of trouble uploading my videos. And through a great deal of self-reflection and meditation and looking within and feeling into the resistance, the videos I was trying to upload, I specifically was very much not intending to do a twin flame reading. So I know they're very popular on YouTube right now, and I've watched tons of them. I've actually found it really, really helpful in the process of kind of readying myself to start my readings on this channel. However, I was adamant that I would not be doing twin flame readings. None of my videos were going up, and I got so frustrated and upset, and I was like, I feel like I'm really being pushed and called to do this channel and do these readings. What is going on? And then it was coming through, you know, I did actually a really intense workshop just a couple days ago, and it was all about like going into the scary places as far as like doing self-work, introspection, finding things that are part of your way of looking at things and doing things and approaching things that are not working for you. So through that process, like I freshly have the experience of sensing, oh, that's something really scary, and I don't want to I want to be really careful about not going there. But in that event, that workshop, it was all about going there. And it was a beautiful workshop where a really safe space had been created. A small group of people were working through some of their issues together in whatever way felt right for them. And then the rest of the group had made an agreement all together that we were going to help each other push through our boundaries and push through the resistance and get to like the hard part in the middle. And it was amazing. So then when I sensed how much resistance I had around doing specifically a twin flame reading, I was like, oh man, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, and we shall see. But I have a feeling. It also was coming through that it was important to do because, like, this is why it's scary for me. One, I have been on the twin flame journey. Of course, you wouldn't be doing these videos otherwise. And what that experience has been, like where I'm at on that is in a very unideal place, you could say. And so, of course, I don't want to be out on the internet proclaiming for all of the world that really vulnerable part of the journey. And so I didn't want to do it, obviously. And also, it was a decision because I was in that process of like focusing back on myself, focusing on my mission, which is to heal and help and hold space for people. And so while I was trying to refocus on just me, what I came here to do, I wanted to stay away from that. So yes, there's free will, and there's also divine intervention, and here we are. So I am going to also be not putting a date on this video, so I was trying to feel into what time period this would be for. Something that I've noticed with the other videos, so many different readers across the board, is that because this is a collective journey and it happens in like waves, and so many of us are going through the exact same thing at the exact same time, but not all of us. And there have been times where I've had a video pop up on my like YouTube recommended for you, and I'll like hit it and I'll be like, dang, that was on point. And then I'll look at the date that it was posted, and it was like months and months and months ago. So and they'll be like, it's for this and this period of time, but it's not, in my observation, specific to a period of time. It's specific to a wave of energy, and certain people who are at a certain point in that journey, at a certain frequency level, are going to get hit, or I don't know, that sounds kind of violent, but like they're the ones going to be in that wave, getting that wave of energy. And then there's going to be other people getting another wave of energy, and it's all, you know, pretty connected, but still different. So I'm not putting a date on. This is just going to be for whomever finds this at the time that is right for them. However, this is a collective reading, so if you have found this video and you find that there is anything coming through that doesn't feel like it has anything to do with you, like you're having trouble, like, no, that doesn't sound right, it's not a message for you. There's this, when you do collective readings, you are tapping into a very wide sea of energy, and whatever comes through is gonna be for somebody. So there's no need to try to figure out how that could possibly apply to you. If it does, it's gonna just hit you like, oh my God, you know, I can't believe the synchronicity of that. And if that's the way you feel, then that's the message that's coming through for you. And yeah, so just take what resonates. Nothing that comes through is like fixed. This is all fluid energy. So even though I'm gonna pick up the message and interpret, you still need to interpret yourself too. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get a head card for the overall energy of the twin flame wave that I'm gonna be tapping into. Okay, so right out for the masculine, I have desire, and actually I should mention the deck. This is the Dreams of Gaia tarot deck. So anyone who's familiar with this, it's not structured with traditional tarot, like strictly traditional tarot. It's actually pretty good, because what I've noticed with this deck is the main difference between like a strict tarot, classic tarot deck, and this one is that it's like a lot more positive actually. So some of the cards that you would normally see and you're like, it's not like that in here, and they have like very adapted meanings. So we have desire for masculine, and let's see, Eight of Cups in reverse. I'll show you for the feminine. Okay, and so then I'm gonna get like a progression on that energy. So energy being always in flux and fluid. Wherever we're at any given moment is has been, propelled by the energy we were in and where we're trying to go, or where we've been going, the direction we've been going, trajectory, if you will. And so I'll get the energy we're coming out of to get to the energy that we're in, and then the direction we're headed based off that. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, current energy. And where are we facing? Where are we headed from there? Based off that trajectory. Where are we going from there? The reason that I'm laughing is because, like I said, in gearing up to do this channel, I've been watching other videos, of course, and I love to watch other readers, and like as many different ones as possible, because it's so interesting when you you can look at readers all over the world giving the same messages and the same message and the same message, and I've honestly just been really enjoying watching all the different people give it in their different ways. I must say, I notice I said people, but I have not as of yet come across a male reader, which is very interesting actually. So many women in many different countries doing these readings, and it's like across the board the same message. You watch them pull the cards, like you watch me pull the cards, they'll fall out. You watch other readers do the cards, they fall out, they jump out. Like it's the same thing, and that's why I'm laughing, because you can't do anything but share the message that comes through. Like you're not controlling that, you're just gotta call it like it is. So I'm gonna get some clarifiers, but let's just start with this. So with the Dreams of Gaia tarot deck, being that it's not traditional, strictly classic tarot, what I'm going to do is also bring the book in so that you can get the specific meaning that the author intended, and then I'll be using some other decks as well, which are, some are traditional and some are not. So let's start with desire. So firstly, what I'm getting from this, for this reading is, and I'll like walk you through the card message. So what I'm getting from this is that this intense rebirth experience for the masculine has brought them into a space of desire. So not just for the feminine, but for life, which is really what the feminine is all about. Like feminine essence is the essence. So sorry, let me try and find the right words to say this so it makes as much sense as possible. So femininity, when expressed through a woman, through herself, is, creativity. It's all the Empress energy. abundance, growth, fertility, nurturing, all of that. When expressed through another person, it's muse energy, inspiration. So basically, that's what I'm getting from this card, that this whole process that the feminine has like triggered, she like tripped this wire, and almost like, you can think of any movie, usually horror movies, where you walk, like they'll walk into like a theme park or a fun house, and then all the lights come on and the rides start going and the music starts going. That's basically like what the feminines do to the masculines when they come into their life and come into their world. They, all of that stuff starts going on, and it can be like really overwhelming, and not can be, is, of course. And of course everybody reacts to that experience in their own way. And anyone who's been, you know, in the twin flame community and following readers and things is well aware of how adversely some people can react to that. So what I'm getting is that at this point, so much has happened, so much has come up and like been purged to be released, and so much has been born in its place. Like if you think of like when there's a really big wildfire, and it's just like intense, and it's a shock to the community, and it just like you see the site and everything's gone and it's black and it's just like really intense. And then, you know, months later, you start to see all this beautiful new growth, and it's like one of the most beautiful things in the world. I grew up in Australia where there's a lot of bushfires, and I now live in LA and California, so that's still a thing that's present in my life, and it is so beautiful when you do go back there, and then you see all of this beautiful new life just blossoming and coming up. It's just like this amazing kind of depiction of the life cycle, you know. And so what I'm feeling is that's kind of what's happened with the masculines. And so all this beautiful new growth is like, yes, it's young and it's fresh, but it's like here, and it's about it, and it's growing, and it's hungry. It has a desire to live and thrive, and that's the energy that I'm getting. For the feminines, I feel what I'm getting from this is that this process for the feminines has, like, I'm gonna show you with the way that I'm seeing it. So if you see this figure here, there's Reiki symbols in each palm. There's dolphins diving in the background. Dolphins always represent like compassion and intelligence, and the chakras are all illuminated and glowing and activated, and hair all blowing in the wind, moon in the background. So this is all depicting like intuition and that power that is found from the synergy within oneself. All the chakras are active and aligned, and it's just like a powerful energy system, you know, kind of driven by intuition. And so seeing that in the reverse, what I'm getting for that is that this process for the feminines has really just knocked her off her game in the sense of alignment in the sense of um, personal alignment. So thinking like not so much am I on my mission, but just like, are your chakras balanced? We've been going through a lot of intense work, and certain work is going to be held in different chakras. I know that I've been, and I know a lot of other people have been doing a lot of childhood trauma work. And so that's really in your lower chakras. So having such an intense focus in energetically and consciously in any particular chakra can create an imbalance. Then, you know, really trying to find as much space as you can in your higher chakras, because they feel a lot better in a way. Especially if you're out of alignment, this can feel really, really good in this like heart to crown space where it's just lighter. It's it's the good feeling space. And so I'm getting that for the feminines, regaining that alignment and activation, just to create, like, really needing to create that synergy. So when you see, like, it's hard to see, but these Reiki symbols are illuminated, and then you have the moon illuminated in the background, the disc of intuition, and this is all like triad too. So this is divine union. This is these are mostly the two ways that I see divine union in the triangle. So you have God, you have Earth, and then you have yourself as the channel in between. And then with partnership, it's you, the other person, and God. So within oneself, that for me is divine, you are the channel, Earth. So our whole job, our whole purpose is to be kind of like a circular channel of energy, bringing the divine energy, all the divine inspirations that come through, any channeled things that come through down into the world, and then to like reflect, take that all in. And as you take it in through your consciousness, it's, you know, within God's consciousness, or, you know, source. So we need this pathway to be really sound, to have, this is a lot of energy, and when it's not sound, that's when things start getting off for us, because that's a great deal of energy to be traveling. If you don't have a sound system, it's going to start disturbing and messing up all kinds of things, and that can come through as feeling tired, weight gain, weight loss, pain like headaches, backaches, those type of things. And then you have it, you know, when it starts getting further out into like real situations going wrong in your life, because your energy is not being controlled, basically, channeled. So that's what I'm getting for the feminines. As a pair, as like this connection, the energy that we've been in, coming out of journey. So with this card, as you can see, there's that butterfly at the bottom, which always represents transformation. And you can see here that there's dark and light, and this figure standing in the middle. So I don't know if you can tell, but this is not a this cloak is not two different colors. It's being shown as a different color because that's where the light's hitting it. So this person is representing polarity, not duality, but polarity. So duality is where it's opposing forces. Polarity is where they're balanced. And this little butterfly is a dark butterfly, but it's glowing. It has that illumination. So it's like transformation in regarding balance. That yin yang, that balance is there. And this, I wish you could see it like really clearly, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But he's standing right in the middle and he's lifting up the hood to the light side. So this is kind of saying that we've been in that process of balancing. We've been on that journey, that transformation journey of balancing the yin and the yang, the masculine, the feminine, and also the mind and the emotions, intuition. It's all been very, very intense. I will say that. So that's the energy we're coming out of. The energy that we're really sitting in right now. So it's knowledge. So we'll look, like I said, I will be bringing the book in for this deck. It's also a new deck, which I'm pretty excited about. I have a couple, so that's always fun. And I haven't had a chance to fully familiarize myself with the deck, so I will bring that in. But I feel like this is really about divine knowledge, that inner wisdom. What you can see here is, first of all, the apple. So Adam and Eve, the apple, the tree of knowledge. Then what you probably can't really see is that this person has a vial in their hand, and there's all kinds of like vials and books, and it's like an alchemist. He's trying to figure some things out, like a scientist in the 17th century. And the vial that he has in his hand, not the other ones, but the one that he has in his hand is glowing. It's illuminated. Illumination is always depicting the divine. In any tarot deck and many other places, the light, the illumination is always depicting the divine, or life force energy. So like in the wands, you know, that's all passion and magic and divine energy. So yeah, this is to me about really sitting in that space. And also when you're doing healing and self-work, there are parts that you do by yourself, within yourself, that nobody else will ever know about, that can't be taught. Then there's the kind that is proactive, and you do reach out for resources. You might take classes, you might be reading books on self-help or whatever specific aspect of self-work you're working on. So for me personally, and again, I'm aware that this is for many of us, I've been doing work on boundaries and codependency and healthy relationships. So I'm, bringing in support from professionals, for people who this is what they do for a living, in different ways, and then and reaching out for their services and their help, and books, a lot of books, like shout out to Brené Brown. Yes, I'm also reading Codependent No More, and it's great. And things like that, when you're being proactive about your self-work from the place of you're the creator of your own reality. So once you become aware of a system, even if it's a thought pattern, belief system, habits, physical habits that is not working for you, it's working against you, then once you recognize that, then you're in a position to do something about that. And it's really just a matter of taking a look at different options. Like, look, not just what's sitting in front of you, but go out and look and see what's there that you didn't even know was there. And seek and you shall find. Like, I had been looking for a certain kind of support, as far as like counseling, that kind of thing, and I have done traditional counseling like cognitive therapy and things like that, and I didn't find it super helpful. Like, it's helpful to a degree, to just like talk therapy, talk it out, but it's not really resolving anything. It's not an active approach to healing. It's really quite passive, and I understand for a lot of people just speaking about these things can be actually a really demanding job. But my battery's gonna die. Hold on. Let's see. Do this. Okay. I will say that I have quite lost my place. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I was looking for a particular type of support too. Also, being a psychic, being an empath, being an intuitive, that's very difficult to go into traditional therapy and bring in there with you. It is a huge part of your experience as a person if you are an empath, and to not be able to put that on the table when you're looking at what's going on for you, it's very like pointless to me. So I was looking for a particular type of support and found an amazing woman online who, like, she has a YouTube channel, so can check that out. I want to say, I don't want to say the wrong name. So maybe I'll just like add in her link at in the bio or whatever. But she's amazing, and so I'm going to be working with her, and I'm really excited about that. And yeah, be proactive. Be proactive about being the creator of your own reality, especially in the areas that bother you. Because the more actively you lean into the process of changing that into something that feels good to you, the less of that exists within you, within your life. You know, you always have the option to fake it till you make it, put on the mask, live for appearances, as long as you create the appearance that you're, I don't know, doing well or really stable or thriving or happy. You have the option to choose into creating that, or you have the option to create the reality of that, which is much less attractive, I will admit. Like, it doesn't look nearly as impressive and it doesn't feel as good until you get where you're trying to go, and you're like, oh my God, I am so glad I pushed myself through that and got here. And I feel like every time I do that personally, I feel so much more my true self. And I can remember like being really like much younger, like a teenager, and feeling like this is just not my reality. This story is all wrong. This is not how my story goes. And it was because I was so out of alignment. I was so far out of alignment And it was horrible. It was horrible. And the more work that I've done over the years and the more into alignment I got, the more I feel like myself and feel like this story's starting to make sense. So I'm just going to put that out there too for, food for thought. And so based on this energetic trajectory, so the energy, which is the mindset, the emotional state, and the spiritual state, this is what creates what we are, and the way we're moving, the speed at which we're moving, all of that. So that's what energy is when we're looking at it like this. Coming from that transformative journey of balancing into a place of actively pursuing that knowledge that we need to create the life, to better ourselves, to become more ourselves, to embody ourselves and our truth and our dreams and our destiny and what we want in life, the direction that has us heading in, if we stay with that energy. We have the Six of Cups. So again, this is slightly different in the Dreams of Gaia deck, but traditionally it is reflecting on fond memories. But what I see coming through this card is this figure has her hand outstretched, and I don't know if you can see that, but she has a bracelet in her hand with a glowing pink heart, and it's all got like little glittery, like glowing little sparkles all in the heart and kind of coming out and floating around, and her heart chakra is illuminated in the same way, and her temples. So what I see there is an offering. So when that card came out, that's why I laughed, because in all the readings across the globe, it is like offering season. The offer, the offer, the offer. It's coming in, it's coming in, it's coming in. And the funny thing is, you never hear about the next part. I'm just going to put that out there. I've looked all over the place. Like I said, I've been doing a pretty thorough exploration of what's going on YouTube with tarot readings. So I'm seeing that a lot, but you never hear anyone coming back with like, yeah, it happened. This is how it went down, blah, blah, blah. So I have actually seen videos from other twin flames. I even saw one where they did it together, and they were talking about their journey and the runner chaser phase and what that was like for them. But even still, like, wasn't really that helpful for this type of query. Like, yeah, I would love to see and hear about that, because, and I also wonder if it's just like an energetic block of like, that's not for you to know. But either way, that's what I see here. Very much an offer of love. And because it is the Six of Cups, which is traditionally connected with fond memories, it is